Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Jeb Smith, Coldwell Banker Residential Brokerage here in Southern California. And today we're going to talk about our monthly marketing report for December 2019. We are full on in our holiday market, which is typically, the time of year when things tend to slow down. Inventory seems to stall, buyer demand seems to slow down, and the market just, comes to more or less comes to a halt during this time of year, and it's typically a seasonal effect that happens every year, but this year is a little bit different, and that's what we're going to talk about today as we head into 2020 to give you some things to think about as a buyer, seller, or investor in today's market. So it's December 2nd today, and we just got out of Thanksgiving, as you know, and typically, as I mentioned a moment ago, the market is generally stalling at this point in the year. It's not that houses aren't selling, but we're coming to a point in the year where inventory has pretty much dissipated. It's getting close to the lowest point in the year. Buyer demand has generally slowed by this point in the year, prior to Thanksgiving. And this year it's a little bit different. What we're seeing, clearly we haven't seen the numbers yet because we just came out of Thanksgiving, but I can tell you from my own experience, there's a ton of buyers out there still looking, writing offers on property, and I'm having properties go into escrow on the listing side and representing buyers. So there's still a lot of people looking out there, and it's primarily due to, I think, low interest rates and low inventory. And while inventory is low, it's still up quite a bit from this point last year. So if we're comparing this year to last year with regards to our market, inventory is higher at this point, buyer demand is higher at this point, and interest rates are lower. So, as an agent looking at the full picture here, interest rates are definitely driving buyer demand, which is people putting properties into escrow. So more properties are still going into escrow, and because inventory, there's more property out there than there was this point last year, buyers still have more options to choose from. But now as a whole, inventory is still low, right? So, not just California, not just Southern California, but nationwide, inventory is very, very low. And this is something that's not going to correct itself in a couple of months or maybe even a year, in fact. So that's where we're going to start talking about 2020, housing market predictions, etc. So, right now, as a buyer, it's still a great time to buy. If you find the right property, interest rates are still really low. It's a good opportunity to maybe write an offer on a property that you really like, because you may have less competition than you would, say, in the spring. And sellers, it's really, really hard for me as a real estate agent to tell you to list your house during this time of the year, because typically this isn't the best time of the year to sell your house and get the most value for your property. But, if you're in that certain price range under $1 million, I would say talk to an agent if you haven't already, and consider it, just because there's less competition out there, right? So you have less people that you're competing with to sell your house, and there still is quite a bit of buyer demand out there, so it may be a good opportunity to sell your house. But ideally, spring is as a seller is going to be the best time, right? And so that's going to get us right into what I'm predicting for 2020. I think the year will start out a little slow, like it normally does right after the start of the year, right? January 2nd, there's not going to be some big influx of property to the market. There's not going to be some huge buyer demand. That's not how it works. Traditionally speaking, sometime around Super Bowl is when the market starts to pick back up. More homes start to come to the market, and that really starts our spring selling season. And this year's probably going to be much of the same, right? I think 2020 is going to be a lot like 2019, which is kind of a sneaky appreciation, if you will. Inventory is going to start to pick up in the spring. I expect that interest rates are probably going to remain low, which is really good for buyer demand. We'll keep buyers out there looking at property. And I think, as more properties come to the market, you're going to see a pickup in buyer demand, and you're going to see, another 2 to 3% appreciation next year. It's hard to say what happens after next year, right? Because it's an election year. There's a lot going on. But right now, if the fundamentals of the economy are still strong, right? GDP is still good. Unemployment is still near record lows. The interest rates are low. You know, the fundamentals, the basics of the economy are doing really well. The stock market's still doing really well, hitting all-time highs, etc. So there's still a lot of money out there, and a lot of money on the sidelines, right? A lot of people waiting to see what happens to come into the market, and so I think that you will continue to see, you know, some appreciation sideways to up next year. And, you know, I don't know what's going to happen in 2021, but I think if you're a buyer and you're waiting on the sidelines, waiting for the market to pull back, thinking there's a huge bubble or a huge recession coming or what have you, and you're going to pick up a property really, really cheap in the future, I think you're going to be sadly mistaken. I think this is one of those times that, you know, the market's going to kind of keep steamrolling forward. Are we going to see a pullback in the future? Of course we are, but I don't think you're going to see a huge collapse like we did in 2006 to 2008. That's not the market we're in right now. It's, you know, everything right now is backed on strong loan underwriting and really good fundamentals of the economy. So I think that, you know, all in all, the market's going to continue moving forward. Prices are going to continue to go up. If nothing else, they're going to go sideways. And with interest rates remaining where they are, it's a really good time to be a buyer. And as a seller, you know, you can't really, you know, pick the top of the market. And I don't think this is the top of the market, but right now is a really good opportunity to take advantage of what you have if you're looking to sell your home. So, you know, if you haven't talked to an agent, do so. Make sure you're speaking with a professional. Check out some of my other videos to talk about what to look for in an agent. If I can be of assistance, please reach out to me. Would love the opportunity to help. And if you have comments or questions, you can comment below or reach out to me directly. I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and we'll see you again on the next video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.